Simone Biles has won her 8th national championship. This was her first major competition after her disappointing 2020 Olympics, where she had to drop out of all but one event. How did she go from not having the confidence to even compete, to regaining her confidence and winning a record-setting championship? By the end of this video, you'll learn the one change she made from the Olympics until now that greatly boosted her confidence. Going into the 2020 Olympics, Simone Biles was already the greatest of all time. She was the most decorated gymnast ever, and the 2020 Olympics was supposed to be a victory lap to solidify herself as the undisputed GOAT. So in the lead up to the Olympics, she wore the GOAT symbol on her leotards and made her rounds doing press, where she talked about how she wanted to make history. However, right before the Olympics, she got the twisties, which is a sudden loss of a gymnast's ability to maintain body control while in the air. Apparently, this is a common problem that happens to gymnasts every so often, but there's no question that the pressure of the Olympics played a major role in this happening to her. Biles ended up dropping out of every event except one, where she won bronze. She went from winning 5 medals, 4 of them gold, in the 2016 Olympics to a single bronze in the next one. It was incredibly embarrassing and an extreme disappointment. I already made a video about what went wrong for her in the 2020 Olympics, which you can check out here. But what's interesting is she took just about the opposite approach in her comeback to competition, and she received the opposite result. After taking a 2-year break from competition, she returned in the Core Hydration Classic and dominated, winning first in almost every event she competed in. Then in the US Nationals Championships, she won it for a record-breaking 8th time. So what was the change she made? In an interview after the championship win, the interviewer asked,
"You have some personal goals. Can you share those with us?"
And she said this:
"I like to keep them personal. I'm trying to move a little bit differently this year than I have in the past, so I think it's working so far."
She learned there's almost no benefit to sharing your goals with people, especially as a public figure. If you think telling people your goals keeps yourself accountable, the only people that will keep you the most accountable is you, your team, and your coach. Other than that, there's basically no advantage to telling people your goals. When I was growing up, I had the dream of becoming a professional athlete, like pretty much any kid who plays sports does. While I was young, my family was supportive of this. But when I got older and my dream got a little bit more serious, my dad always brought up the fact that there is a very small percentage of people who make it, and told me to be a bit more realistic. This was discouraging to hear, but it also fueled my desire to prove him wrong and be the exception. When I got to college, I got a taste of what it would be like to be a professional athlete, since being a student athlete is basically a full-time job, and I realized being a pro athlete wasn't for me. But what was almost worse than realizing that I no longer wanted to chase a long-term dream was telling my parents, who had heard me state my dream countless times. And even worse, to admit defeat to my dad, that he was right. Even though I still fully believed that I could have made it pro in some leagues in some country, but it just wasn't what I wanted anymore. Now, my parents took it well and were understanding, but imagine if I had told the whole world and posted my dream all over social media. It would have been much harder to change my mind, because I would have to hear the opinions of everyone I told. And then of course, my dad didn't rub my failure in my face, but I can only imagine what strangers on the internet might have said. Simone Biles learned from the 2020 Olympics that making your goals public adds unnecessary expectation and pressure that will affect your performance. It gives people the chance to tear down your dream, which may be fragile. It gives internet trolls plenty of ammo to shoot you down if you don't achieve your goals, even if you still accomplish something great. And if you happen to change your goal, for example when Biles got the twisties and was no longer able to fully compete, you have to explain yourself to everyone, who most likely won't understand. But if you don't tell anyone your dreams, aside from your family and your team, then you only have to deal with the expectations of yourself and those closest to you, who will be encouraging and supportive whether you achieve your goal or not. So by all means, set specific short-term and long-term goals, but don't tell anyone, at least not your long-term goals. If you want someone to keep yourself accountable for your short-term goals, only tell the people who will be helping you achieve those goals, such as your family, friends, and team. Keep your dreams to yourself so they can grow stronger in private. And rather than being driven by the pressure to fulfill other people's expectations, you can be driven by your desire to fulfill your own.